your ultimate beginner's guide to mastering AWS. This podcast is brought to you by Business Compass LLC. We are an Amazon Web Services advanced consulting partner. We build and migrate workloads to Amazon Cloud. Our website is businesscompassllc.com. Our phone number is 973-638-2228. Our email address is contact@businesscompassllc.us. In today's rapidly evolving digital landscape, cloud computing has become the backbone of modern infrastructure. From startups to large enterprises, the shift to the cloud has enabled businesses to scale efficiently, reduce costs, and innovate faster. At the forefront of this transformation is Amazon Web Services, AWS, the world's most comprehensive and widely adopted cloud platform. In this podcast, we'll walk you through the essentials of AWS, from the basics of cloud computing to more advanced concepts, ensuring you have a solid foundation for mastering AWS. Introduction to Cloud Computing and AWS. Understanding the basics of cloud computing and its significance. Cloud computing allows organizations to access and manage resources like servers, storage, and databases over the internet, eliminating the need for physical hardware. This on-demand access to computing resources provides flexibility, scalability, and cost efficiency, making it a pivotal technology in today's digital era. Introduction to Amazon Web Services, AWS, and its global impact. AWS is a pioneer in the cloud computing industry, offering a vast array of services that cater to different needs, from simple storage solutions to complex machine learning models. With its extensive global infrastructure, AWS supports millions of customers, including some of the world's most successful companies, helping them innovate and scale their operations globally. Getting started with AWS. Step-by-step guide to setting up an AWS account. Visit the AWS homepage. Click on Create an AWS account. Enter your email address and choose a password. Fill in your details, including billing information. Select a support plan. Essential support is free. Verify your identity and complete the setup. Exploring the AWS Management Console and its functionalities. Once your account is set up, you can access the AWS Management Console, a web-based interface for managing all your AWS services. Familiarize yourself with the dashboard, where you can search for services, view billing information, and access helpful resources like documentation and support. AWS Global Infrastructure, an overview. Understanding the concept of AWS regions and availability zones. AWS infrastructure is organized into regions containing multiple isolated locations known as availability zones, AZs. This setup allows AWS to provide highly available and fault-tolerant services. Regions are geographically dispersed, allowing customers to choose where to deploy their applications to reduce latency, comply with regulatory requirements, and improve disaster recovery. How AWS ensures high availability and disaster recovery. AWS's multi-region, multi-OS infrastructure ensures that your applications remain available even during failures. By replicating data across OSs and providing services like Amazon RDS's multi-OS deployment, AWS helps businesses achieve near-zero downtime and robust disaster recovery capabilities. Securing your AWS environment. Introduction to AWS Identity and Access Management. IAM is a critical service that allows you to control access to AWS resources securely. With IAM, you can create and manage users and groups, set permissions, and enforce policies to ensure that only authorized individuals can access your resources. Implementing security best practices in AWS enable multi-factor authentication, MFA. Add an extra layer of security to your AWS accounts. Use IAM roles. Assign roles to resources instead of sharing access keys. Regularly rotate security credentials. Ensure that access keys are rotated periodically. Apply the principle of least privilege. Only grant permissions necessary for users to perform their tasks. Dive into AWS services. Overview of key AWS services, including Amazon EC2, Amazon S3, and Amazon RDS. Amazon EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud, a scalable computing service that allows you to launch virtual servers on demand. Amazon S3, Simple Storage Service, highly durable and scalable object storage ideal for backups, data archiving, and big data analytics. Amazon RDS, Relational Database Service, managed database supporting popular databases like MySQL, PostgreSQL, and SQL Server. Exploring compute, storage, and database services offered by AWS. AWS provides a broad range of services. Compute, EC2, Lambda, Elastic Beanstalk. Storage, S3, Elastic Block Store, EBS, Glacier. Databases, RDS, DynamoDB, Redshift. These services allow businesses to choose the right tools for their specific needs, whether they require on-demand computing power, scalable storage solutions, or robust database management. Advanced AWS Concepts. Deep dive into AWS Lambda, Elastic Beanstalk, and other advanced compute services. AWS Lambda, a serverless computing service that automatically scales your application by running code in response to events. Elastic Beanstalk, a platform as a service, PaaS, that simplifies application deployment, scaling, and management. Understanding Amazon S3, EBS, and Amazon Glacier for storage solutions. Amazon S3, best for object storage with use cases in data lakes, backups, and media hosting. EBS, block storage that can be attached to EC2 instances, ideal for use cases requiring low latency access to data. Amazon Glacier, cost-effective storage for long-term data archiving and backup. Managed database services like Amazon RDS, DynamoDB, and Amazon Redshift. Amazon RDS, managed relational database service with automated backups and software patching. DynamoDB, a NoSQL database service designed for high availability and scalability. Amazon Redshift, a fast, fully managed data warehouse that makes it simple and cost-effective to analyze all your data. Networking and security in AWS, grasping networking concepts such as VPC, Route 53, and CloudFront. VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, enables you to provision logically isolated sections of the AWS cloud. Route 53, AWS's Scalable Domain Name System, DNS, service. CloudFront, Content Delivery Network, CDN, that delivers data globally with low latency. Implementing security measures, including encryption, IAM policies, and network controls. Encryption, protect your data at rest and in transit using AWS Key Management Service, KMS. IAM policies, define granular permissions to control access to AWS resources. Network controls, use security groups and network ACLs to control inbound and outbound traffic to your resources. Monitoring and cost management in AWS, utilizing AWS CloudWatch and CloudTrail for monitoring and logging. CloudWatch, monitor AWS resources and applications in real time, set alarms, and automate change responses. CloudTrail, track user activity and API usage across your AWS infrastructure, aiding in security analysis and compliance. Strategies for cost management and optimization using AWS Cost Explorer. AWS Cost Explorer, analyze and visualize your AWS spending, identify trends, and discover cost-saving opportunities. Reserved instances and savings plans, pre-purchase capacity to lower costs on EC2 and other services. Continuous learning and practical application. Importance of referring to AWS documentation and engaging with the community. AWS documentation is a rich resource that provides comprehensive guides, tutorials, and reference materials. Additionally, engaging with the AWS community through forums, webinars, and local user groups can provide valuable insights and support. Encouraging hands-on practice for solidifying AWS knowledge. Hands-on experience is crucial for mastering AWS. Regularly practice by setting up and experimenting with different AWS services, working on real-world projects, and preparing for AWS certifications to validate your expertise. Conclusion. Mastering AWS opens up a world of possibilities, whether you're looking to advance your career, build scalable applications, or optimize your business's cloud infrastructure. By understanding the fundamentals, exploring critical services, and continuously practicing, you'll be well on your way to becoming proficient in AWS. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Please share this podcast, visit our website, and follow our social media links.